AlanAlda, the beloved actor best known for his iconic role as Hawkeye Pierce in the groundbreaking television series MASH, has long been a figure of warmth, wisdom, and wit in American entertainment. With a career spanning decades, Alda has touched countless lives through his acting, writing, and advocacy work. So, when heartbreaking news about the star surfaced recently, it sent a wave of sorrow and reflection through fans and admirers across generations. At 89 years old, AlanAlda has faced more than his fair share of personal and professional challenges, but he has always confronted them with a rare blend of courage and grace. His public battle with Parkinson's disease, which he revealed in 2018, was one of those moments that showed the world the true measure of the man behind the characters. He didn't shrink from the diagnosis or retreat from the public eye. Instead, he continued to work, appearing on podcasts, television interviews, and even taking on acting roles to show that life, though changed, was still rich with purpose. But now, the news emerging from those close to Alda and his family has painted a somber picture. Though details remain private, it has been confirmed that his health has significantly declined in recent months. For someone whose intellect, quick humor, and vibrant energy defined so much of his work, the reality of his progressing illness has become difficult to ignore. Those who have seen him recently describe a man who still radiates kindness and curiosity, but whose physical and cognitive struggles are becoming increasingly evident. For many fans, the news feels personal. AlanAlda isn't just a celebrity. He's a constant, a comforting presence in a world that often feels unsteady. Generations grew up watching him on MASH, laughing and crying alongside the wisecracking army surgeon who always found a way to inject humanity into the horrors of war. The show was more than entertainment. It was a lens through which viewers could examine compassion, morality, and the fragility of life. And at the center of it all was Alda's performance. Nuanced, fearless, and endlessly relatable. The heartbreak doesn't stem only from his illness, but from what his decline represents. Alda has been one of the last remaining living ties to a golden era of television, where character development and emotional depth mattered as much as plot and pacing. As actors and creators from that time begin to fade from the spotlight or pass on, there's a collective grief that takes root, not just for the individuals, but for the era they represent. Alda's journey since MASH has been remarkable in its own right. He wrote books, hosted Scientific American Frontiers, and became a vocal advocate for science communication, even founding the AlanAlda Center for Communicating Science. He's been a tireless supporter of making complex ideas accessible to the public, driven by his belief that understanding is the first step toward empathy and progress. That's what made his diagnosis with Parkinson's so poignant. Even as the disease worked to slow his movement and speech, Alda doubled down on his efforts to connect with others. He openly shared his experiences, not for sympathy, but to help. Others facing similar battles feel seen and understood. The recent update, however, brings a new gravity to the situation. Reports suggest that Alda's condition is now limiting his ability to participate in the activities he once loved. Appearances have become rare, and public statements have been infrequent. Friends and former colleagues have expressed concern, while also emphasizing his enduring spirit. One noted that even in his hardest moments, Alda remains intent on making those around him laugh, often slipping into a joke or lighthearted story to ease the weight of the moment. That enduring sense of humor has always been his hallmark, a gentle reminder that joy and pain often exist side by side. For fans, the heartbreak is compounded by the helplessness that comes with watching a cherished figure struggle. Alda's impact on popular culture cannot be overstated. MASH was more than a show. It was a phenomenon, a cultural touchstone that blended satire, tragedy, and deeply human storytelling. Hawkeye's irreverence and compassion mirrored Alda's own values, and many viewers saw in him not just a character, but a role model. His voice, both literally and figuratively, carried weight. It's hard then to think of that voice growing quieter. As the news circulates, tributes have begun to pour in. Fans have taken to social media to share what Alda meant to them, often recounting specific episodes or quotes that stayed with them over the years. Former co-stars have expressed their love and gratitude, many noting how Alda was not just a lead actor, but also a guiding force on set, a writer, a director, and a friend who worked tirelessly to elevate everyone around him. There's a collective yearning to give something back to the man who gave so much. In that sense, the current outpouring of emotion isn't just about sorrow, it's about appreciation. People want to say thank you. Thank you for the laughs during hard times. Thank you for the wisdom shared through characters and conversations. Thank you for showing us what grace under pressure looks like. Heartbreak has many layers. It's not just sadness. It's the ache of watching time catch up with those we hold dear. It's the realization that nothing, not even the brightest lights, can shine forever. But within that heartbreak, there is also beauty. Because Alda's story isn't just one of decline, it's one of a life deeply and fully lived. It's about a man who never stopped growing, never stopped giving, even when his own body began to turn against him. As AlanAlda faces this chapter, he does so with the same dignity that has defined his entire career. Those who know him say he's surrounded by love, his wife of many decades, his children, and close friends who understand the measure of the man far beyond the fame. He may be stepping back from the spotlight, but his influence remains very much alive in the hearts of those he touched. It's never easy to say goodbye to heroes, especially the ones who made us laugh, think, and feel deeply. And though Alda's journey may be nearing its final chapters, the story he helped write continues in the countless lives he inspired. From hospital tents on the small screen to real-world efforts to bring clarity and compassion into public discourse, his legacy is not one of sadness, but of meaning. Yes, the news is heartbreaking, but it's also a reminder to celebrate while we still can, to honor the moments, the memories, and the man behind them. Because AlanAlda isn't just a star from a TV show, he's a symbol of integrity, of humor in the face of hardship, of grace in an industry that often forgets its own humanity. In the end, maybe that's the most important lesson he leaves us with: that life, however long or complicated, is worth showing up for, fully, authentically, with heart. And for that, Alan, we thank you. AlanAlda, the beloved actor best known for his iconic role as Hawkeye Pierce in the groundbreaking television series MASH, has long been a figure of warmth, wisdom, and wit in American entertainment. With a career spanning decades, Alda has touched countless lives through his acting, writing, and advocacy work. So, when heartbreaking news about the star surfaced recently, it sent a wave of sorrow and reflection through fans and admirers across generations. At 89 years old, AlanAlda has faced more than his fair share of personal and professional challenges, but he has always confronted them with a rare blend of courage and grace. His public battle with Parkinson's disease, which he revealed in 2018, was one of those moments that showed the world the true measure of the man behind the characters. He didn't shrink from the diagnosis or retreat from the public eye. Instead, he continued to work, appearing on podcasts, television interviews, and even taking on acting roles